All right, everybody, welcome back to the Inhabit Mars channel. Um, Today we are going to look at, um, we're going to go back to Chris's other channel, Lunar Anomalies and Beyond, and we are going to look at this video right here. It is crafts found in Apollo 15 photo, which he posted on 6/27. We're going to take some images from that and we're going to look at these and see what we see in this. Now, Chris did a very good job on this, and I really recommend before you watch this video, please go and watch his channel, and don't forget to hit the like button, of course, and watch his video first and then come back and watch this, because um, some of these things that he found in this in these images are just phenomenal, and he does a really good job of cleaning up these images and making sure that everything looks good in there. And so we're going to look particularly, we're going to start from right here, and this is the image that he started with. This is from Apollo 15, and we're going to take a look down in that nearest crater. Now, originally I was going to model the entire image, which I did do the terrain on. But number one, there's so many objects and stuff to model, and just turning that picture into a 3D model, I had over 10,000, I think it was 10,416 vertices, and my computer started heating up and slowing down, so I can only model what's in that nearest crater. But once we get into it, I think that'll be pretty good. Now I'm going to show you this image here. In this one, this is zoomed in a little bit on that nearest crater, and I just want to point out a few things before we look at the render images so that you can see that this stuff is actually in there. If you look in the middle of the crater, first of all, and this is in the middle of the image, just to the right of center, you're going to see what looks like water tanks and a whole lot of pipes, and these pipes are running off in all different directions. And then if you go towards the bottom of the screen, about where Chris's picture is, and look in there, there is a basin right there that is pretty flat, and I'll be showing you that in a couple more images. In fact, I think I have that image right here. And what he did was he just rotated the image here, and of course he adjusted the brightness on all these images and the contrast so he could bring out some of this stuff. And like I say, this is pretty clear image of what you see. These things are really there. So when I model it, you're going to see it there too. But I want to point out that this basin right here that's at the bottom right of the image is very flat. In fact, the texture, at least, and probably the flatness of it, is where they took a texture and painted it onto it to hide whatever was there, is what I'm believing. But you can still see, if you look real close to the left side of that basin, you are going to see two, and they look like drain pipes. And you can really see that back in this image right here. This will be on the right of the screen once again, close to where his picture is. You can see that those are drain pipes. And then I want you to look behind those drain pipes, off a little bit to the left. It's right in the center of the screen, and you're going to see two buildings that seem to be connected by a walkway. And then the building that's on the left, and those are dark gray color, you're going to see right in front of that a bridge, and this bridge seems to be made with three slats and some sort of two rails going underneath it. And then you're going to see one of these pipes that come from that where those water tanks and pipes are, comes across and goes across what looks like scaffolding and actually continues under the bridge and into this inner wall of the crater. And there's two inner walls. There's the first inner wall. Let me take you back to this image here. There's a first inner wall, and these are almost perfectly flat on top. This left inner wall is, and then that smaller one, which seems to be connected by some sort of walkway or something. Those two are connected. You see that that pipe actually runs into those. All right, and so let's go ahead and jump into the model. And here, this is the original image. I took a screen cap of it, and then I took this and converted it into a 3D mesh. And I went ahead and placed the object in this image, and I snapped a picture of the model from there when I got it pretty close to done. All right, and we'll go into those in a little more detail. But oh, I do want to point out, you can see the pipes in the middle, and you can see that water tower, what looks like a water tower. And let me go ahead and flip over to this snapshot that I took so you can see a little better. There's the pipes, and then they run out of that, off that platform in the middle of the image, and they run down into that basin off to the left where the bridge and the buildings are. I really wish you could see where I was pointing to. I don't know how to bring the cursor up where you can show it on the screen. And then you can see those drain pipes come into the closest basin, and in that basin, and this is also in the original image, is what looks like two turbines, and then there's two tanks behind it. Then there's a water tower going back up towards the center of the screen vertically. You can see this like water tower. And let me show you that image one more time so you can see that it's actually there in the model, or in the image, I'm sorry. And you see that water tower almost towards the center of the screen. If you see where all the pipes are, just to the right of that is the water tower. And I keep calling them water towers. I have no idea what they're doing here, but they look like water towers and tanks to me. Now, some have suggested that there's actually water present under the surface of the moon. And I believe NASA even came out with an article saying that water has been discovered on the moon. Maybe they're extracting the water from under the surface, and maybe that would explain what these turbines are. And I've got a better angle on that. So let's look at that. Here you go. And if you look towards the top of the screen, you'll see that concrete wall, and then in front of that, the two tanks, and then the what look like turbines to me in front of that. And if you also notice, there is a cone-shaped object in that original image, and that is hard to see. I did everything I could to pull that out, and the best image I could get wasn't much better than what's right here. Chris had already done a great job cleaning it up, so there's not much more I could do, but you could see, if you look down in that basin, and it's towards the center of the basin, there is a cone-shaped object. And behind it, there's another object, so it's kind of hard to see the right side, but when you really, if you screen cap it and you really zoom in, you can, it's blurry, but you can see that it actually is a perfect circle at the bottom part. And I'm not saying that this is what it is, but I am telling you, it looks eerily similar to an Apollo era capsule. And you got to remember, this picture was taken by Apollo 15. So why would there be another Apollo capsule on the moon? I don't know. And I'm not, like I said, I don't know if that's what it is. But I want you to notice, this is where the hatch is in the center. And then there's two windows to the right. And if you go back to this image, and you really look at it, you can definitely see those two windows, and they're not shaped, even in this photograph, they're not shaped completely square, just like on this image. They come down at angles at the bottom of the windows, and you can actually see that in there. Once again, I don't know if that's what it is or isn't. So let's look at this rendered image here. Once again, this is looking at the same angle as the original picture. And then as we get closer into it, you can see that capsule right there. And I apologize, I forgot to rotate it for the still pictures that I took, but after I was looking at the stills, I went ahead and rotated, so when we go in the model, it will be rotated in the correct orientation. I placed it in the right place and I forgot to rotate it. But you'll also notice in the background what Chris mentioned looked like a ship on the landing pad or something, or some other type of structure. If you look close in the image, you can actually see that thing that he's talking about. And this is about the best image I have of it. And it is hard to make out, but it is there. And it is sitting on some sort of platform. It looks to me like a ship. It even has this basket thing on the back of it. And I'll show you what that looks like in the 3D model. And then to the right of it, there is a steel plate like I have here. If you look in front of that ship or structure, there's one of those steel plates, and we'll look at those when we get in the model. All right, so let's look at another angle. Now this is standing on the opposite side of the crater and looking down from this angle. And from this angle, you can see in the render that basket on the back of that ship. And I don't know what that is. It looks like it's hollow in the middle, and then it's got, some sort of I think it was octagonal shape. Yeah, it was octagonal shape plate on the back of it. And you can see the buildings, you can see the water tank, you see pretty much everything in the crater that I was talking about. And now what I want to do is let's bring up Blender, and we're going to go ahead and go into this. Now you're going to hear the fan kick on and everything because this model is quite large and quite detailed. I would say it's kind of detailed for the image that it is. I went ahead and converted this flat plane into a 3D mesh. So let's kind of see what we're looking at. So let's rotate it so you get a 3D perspective, and let's move towards this crater. And let me click on an object in the crater, so we'll be rotating around that. And now you kind of get an idea. There's those pipes right there, and up here in the front are these drain pipes. Okay, and I needed to connect them back there, but once again, I was running into a problem with the computer. I only have 2 gigs of RAM on here, and so it was really taxing my computer. Here is that bridge, and if you notice, the pipe that I didn't have a chance to model actually runs into this, I don't know whether to call it a ravine or crevice or whatever, and runs under this bridge and continues into this I don't know if it's a building or part of the crater. Like I say, it was perfectly flat, and it did come out when I converted it. It did come out as perfectly flat right there. And then you can kind of see this part that comes off the back. So here's a little bit closer on this building here. You can see that, and you can see it sitting on the terrain. And you're going to get some artifacting in the images back here because the UVs have to really stretch from this flat plane taken at an angle to put down on this. And then, like I say, I had subdivided it twice with 100 subdivisions each one, which gave me 10,400. And well, it gave me more than that. And then when I unsubdivided it once, it took me down to 10,416 vertices. So apparently that's about what my computer can handle. You can see these pipes. Now, what's interesting is some of these pipes are left open, and oops, let's click on that. There we go. Now it'll rotate. So, and this one came up and over another pipe, and then you can see these joints in it, and it's actually flanged out at the end. And then here's these water tanks. Let me click on one of them so we'll get a better perspective on that. There you go. And that's the concrete wall that's surrounding them. Here's the front one. And once again, a lot of these pipes I don't have connected because it's just too hard to tell where they're going. And then all over the place in this crater, and even in the far crater, I could see these S-shaped pipes, and I have no idea what these things are. But that's how they look, and they have these flange pieces on the end, which are hard to see, but they are there. Let's go to this here. And this is what I saw in the image that was sitting there on this launch pad or whatever it is. It really looks like a ship. And there's that basket on the end. And yeah, it was hard to make out, but once I got it down, I was able to model it. And then it looked like there was a porthole window maybe between these two steel plates. And these plates actually stick up higher than the platform, but are attached to the outside of the platform. So what they're for, I don't know. And then there was this lone one just sticking here all by itself. Not sure what that one's for, but yeah, it was there all by itself. And then and there's one actually attached to the crater wall. Now the shape of the spars on it, the star pattern, were kind of squiggly in that one. But as I said, I was running out of memory, so I didn't model it. And when I did the preview video, I told you about this wall back here that's in this little crater. Now the only difference is I scaled it down a little bit to fit better, and there's that C-shaped wall in the background. So that's what I saw in the image. You know, guys, let me know what you think. What do you think it is? I have no clue, but it's very amazing, and you can see the pipes. I mean, this is not just my fantasy. Oh, I didn't show you the thing that looked like an Apollo capsule. This is it, and I thought I had it rotated. But anyway, we can rotate it real quick. Something like that, and then rotate Z. Oops, else if I go the right way, hey. There we go. That should be a better orientation. That's kind of the orientation that's in the photo. And that's what it looks like. You have the hatch cover, and you have the two windows that you can see in the photo. It kind of looks like an Apollo capsule. That's what it looked like. Not saying that's what it is, once again, that's what it looked like. But that's about all I have on this one. Next week we'll be checking out this video here from Chris, and this one, it's got some very interesting objects in it. I've already started modeling them, working on it. Oops, helps if I flipped out. There you go. So it's more structures uncovered on Mars, and this one was posted on 6/30. And we're going to take a look at some objects in particular on there. We're going to focus mainly on this area here and a little bit to the right. And then, where did I put it? And then one object that really interested me, if you look at the left side of this screen here, and in this image, by the way, he's pointing to a structure there. We're going to take a look at what I think those structures are. But on the left side of this image towards the middle, going vertically, you can see this weird object. And I wish he would have got into that, because at first I thought it was just a shadow or something. But as you get in closer to it, now he circled some structures and objects in green. I went ahead and circled this in blue so you can kind of see it. And it's hard to tell until you screen cap this and zoom in. But it's actually got 3 cutouts at the top. And I just want to show you real quick what that looks like. So let's go back to our Blender screen here. And I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And that's right here. Always starts in solid mode. Now let's get it in. Okay. Okay, yeah. me go back to this one. That object right there, sitting on that hill, and I haven't modeled any hills or anything yet, but this is kind of what it looks like. Don't worry about that thing floating in the air back there in front of the background image. I'm not done with that yet. But that's another one of the objects in the screen. This right here is what we're looking at. And it's got these three cutouts at the top. And I have no idea what this thing is, but even in this picture, you can see that pipe coming off the back of it. And then you can see that it's actually angled, and of course I can't tell if it's open or closed in the image, but I can tell that there's these three cutouts. And like I said, this is kind of what it looks like, you know. And I haven't smoothed it out or textured it or anything. I just put a basic color on it so you can get an idea. So we're going to look at that and a few more objects, but that's one of the objects of interest. So listen, guys, I hope you're having a good 4th of July. I hope you're keeping it safe out there. Check out Chris's channel. Make sure you hit the like button and not subscribe to his channel while you're at it, because he's got some really good videos. And if you like my channel, hey, please like it, share it, and subscribe. Hopefully you like the work I'm doing here, but the main thing is tell me what you think you're seeing in these images, because like his channel, that's what I want to know. I want to know what we're looking at. I'm really interested in this stuff. Why does a lot of the stuff on Mars look like a lot of the stuff here on Earth? You know, is it related somehow? Are we connected? I don't know. But listen, guys, keep yourself safe, have a good weekend, and enjoy this 4th of July. Thank you.